Just before we came on, the rubber broke
Oh no.
on my, my mic.
Uh-huh.
I think I got it, so we're good. Stand
Okay.
by.
And aloha! Welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I'm your host on the only program that is by a fan for the fan and absolutely about you, the fan.
Now please welcome to the ice for their pregame warm-up, presented by Scott Credit Union. Yours.
Hockey Fan Report. Aloha. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and you are
Slapshot Jones.
Ashley Slapshot Jones here today on the Hockey Fan Report. Have we got a lot to talk about today? Have you heard about the new diet everybody's talking about?
Diets.
Yeah, it's the Rick Bonus diet. You get mad, you slam your stick into the bench, and you lose $25,000.
I'll pass on that one.
Hey, that was pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How's your day going, Ashley?
It was a little rough, but I just got some good news, and now it's great.
What was the good news, if I can ask?
You can't ask.
Ah, that's not good. Okay, well, she's not supposed to tell me she's got good news that I can't ask about. Well, I did a little run today. I don't have COVID yet. I'm going to go get tested tomorrow. I don't have symptoms.
Okay,
Right.
fair enough.
So that's pretty good. I'm glad that doesn't there. Ryan's even talking about the. You know what? See there's something important about this, and this is where I think that the NHL has got to figure this out, right? The coaches and everybody like that, they're not in a union, right? So they don't have this CBA or something to prevent or limit what the NHL can fine. I like the $25,000 fine. I think players should get the same type of fine,
I agree.
right? E's headphones aren't working today, and Ryan got a COVID test today. I've been tested before and tested negative. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't have anything. And then today, man, I got to tell you, I've never been a Kraken fan so much in my life. Gabriel Landeskog tested positive, so he's out. But it really seems like this style of COVID is affecting a lot of people. And while hospitalizations are up, the overall hospitalizations are down. Right? The original COVID Delta was 4 for every 100. Right? I mean, that's basically 1 for every 25.
Yep.
This one is 1 for every 145. So
Yeah.
when you go from 1 for every 25 to 1 for every 145, it really, at least here in Hawaii, right? So, yep, I forgot all about the national. See, I can't even watch that. I really can't. That's not even a tournament to me. I think it's a joke. I think the NCAA college football is the biggest joke, and the one that's second biggest is the NCAA the basketball tournament. Though I do like the basketball tournament a lot better than I like the football tournament. right?
This is where I'm going to sound really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
The only sport I care about is hockey.
I get it. And you know what? And I understand that, but hey, at the St. Louis Fan Report, we got to cover and talk about everything. My issue with college football is it's not a true championship. It's not even close to a true championship. Because at the beginning of the season, there are 120 some odd or right around there, that number of college football teams in Division 1A. Right? Really, only about 30 of them have a chance at winning the championship.
Yeah.
There are teams that could go undefeated and not even sniff the championship. Right? So that's something to think of. It's just why I don't like it. And that I'm really excited about what we're seeing in hockey right now. I really am. Today, they did a breakdowns and demos on Jordan Kyrou, and they talked about his hands. Right? How good his hands were. They also kind of looked at his vision, how he seems to, and not his vision in seeing other players, but how he sees open ice. Right? He has done a very good job about getting to open ice. Well, unfortunately, Kevin, the NHL is becoming about that too. Right? And I put a post out there, and it kind of got someone sent me the whammobile. You look at every time that someone from the NHL goes and posts something about betting, I feel like we're becoming rollerball. Right? And I really do. And I think it's taking away from our game. I understand that's where the money is. I get that. But you know what? Do it differently, right? Don't, because what you're doing, you want them to, if you want them to put their commercials on, great. But if they want you to do anything more about that, nope. Talks about Eichel in Vegas this week. Not sure what that means. Is he close to returning? I've heard that he is. I've heard that they want him on the ice. I don't see him coming back. Right now, Vegas doesn't need him back, and that's the thing, right? I mean, Vegas is running really good. I think they're still like top of the division, if I'm right. I'm pulling up standings here really quick. I think they're still like right there in the top of their division. They're playing. I mean, other than them getting beat by Chicago the other night, that was just an emotional game. Yeah, Vegas is sitting right there at a 618, so they got the best winning percentage or points percentage in their division, and they're also the highest with points at 47. Anaheim, man, what a shock. That's a good young team that's winning a year early. And that I like that. I like the fact that they're a good young team winning a year early. Calgary, though, is sitting right there. Calgary's got 5 games in hand. And that's gonna be a lot. I think that they're gonna catch up. I mean, when you have 10 points you only need 5 out of 10 points. Yeah, I can see a team getting that, right? It's when if you needed 10 out of 10, okay, now I don't see it as much. But when you're in, and that's why I look so much at points percentage.
Fair enough.
You told me I'm not allowed to talk about that today.
Well, I said that you're not supposed to, go off on your tangent. You beat us over the head with points percentage.
Actually, somebody caught a mistake in in my article about points percentage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had said that I meant to say that Anaheim and another team had played 41 games, but I said they played 37. And about 250 people read that, and this is the only one that caught it. She says, I had to read it a couple different times. The only thing I could figure out is that you did a typo, and you're right. Actually, I'm happy with this. I mean, I know this is going to sound really bad, but I'm okay with this. This to me doesn't affect us in the least bit. Right? I think that, first of all, I think Parayko needs the break. Right? And while Shin coming back, from injury and that, he's played well, it's not like we don't have the piece to put in. And then I saw, we sent some guys back to Springfield. Well, we don't play for 4 days, and they've got 2 games. They had one this morning, right? They got
and I mean, potentially, if we get Tarasenko back, which it looks like we will, then technically we only need maybe one forward, and that would be our friend James Neal, who's still on the taxi squad.
Neil will not play for the Blues. Right?
Well,
I guarantee you after Wednesday, and I don't know Springfield's schedule. Let me see if I can pull that up here real quick, right? I'm trying to pull it up. I'm not good at talking and typing at the same time, man. I'm not one of them. I could never be. I have never ever been one of them guys that what do you call it? One of those guys that can type without looking at the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not me. First of all, I've got my left or my right pinky. I broke it as a kid. So it stays on its own, and it has for a long time. Let's see. Let me pull up their schedule here real quick. January. So Monday the 10th. Oh, they don't play the Friday the 14th. Yeah, I could see in the next couple of days, a couple of those guys get sent down. I think they sent them down to help them play for today's game. Right? I could see some of those guys coming back to the taxi squad for the game, and I think they got beat pretty bad today too. Right? I really do. I think it's not showing it. Monday the 10th. Yeah, no, I know they played that game today.
Thanks, Sammy.
Schedule. Because I'm in the wrong spot. Here we go. I'm not going to save the day. Here we go. Game recap. Oh, it's still not showing it. Okay. Nothing I can do about it right now. It just ain't showing it. But I think they got beat today pretty bad.
Yeah.
What do we got? What have I missed? Brian. But Ashley told me not to poke the bear. Sorry, guy. You're the bear. Probably miss only the Kraken game. Yeah, I think you're right. Really? Well, Shin is a bigger deal than Parayko because we just got him back.
I don't think it is because with Shen, we've played without him. He's not been back long enough for us to hurt without him. So we'll be fine. It's probably, unfortunate for him and his ego, to just get back. And then now he's got another thing keeping him out. But I don't think the team as a whole hurts from him being gone.
Yeah, I'm with that too. I really am. By the way, I'm all on board Sonny, man. I'm all on board Sonny D. Watching in a weekend. Watching all of the Ted Lasso episodes. I'm for that. I give it. I give it.
I just
was looking for your 10-year challenge. I can't find it. Here we go.
It's there with baby Allie.
Yep, I got it.
I look like a baby in that.
Marianne, who are you asking? Who's keeping who out? Sometimes you got to remember, you guys on like a 30-second delay, so let me know.
I think she caught the tail end of like I said, something else is keeping Shen out, and it's COVID, Marianne. Shen's out with COVID.
And here we go. Let's see Ashley and her 10-year challenge. See, there's Ashley and her 10-year challenge. So that was 24 and 34?
Yeah, no, 25 and, 26 and 36.
Okay, 26 and 36. Not too bad. James Hell, just listening, G, with you. Oh, welcome, James. Actually, I'm hoping to get one person today, and I hope he comments. A friend of mine, a guy that I went to boot camp with from the St. Louis, from St. Charles area. No, Sammy, it does not hurt us at all. I disagree with that. We'll talk about that here in a second. That's Ashley's 10-year challenge. Now I'm gonna show mine, and I want to show it for a reason. You talk about someone who went 10 years and didn't change. I don't think there's one change in those two pictures. I mean, I think they could be like today and yesterday pictures. Do you know what I'm talking about, Ashley?
Yeah.
I'm like one of those people that it made no sense for me to do the 10-year challenge, right? Mm-hmm. Other than I was working at a shipyard and now I'm working on my own boss, but I don't get paid. So now I got to get through all the hockey fan reports. Hockey fan report. Yeah, so today a guy named Jim Brand, connected with me again, and wow, I was in shock. I haven't talked to Jim. Last time I saw Jim was in Great Lakes in 80 or 97, right? He had finished his 10 years right at our 10-year point, and he just said, I'm done, and got out, and I ended up going to Japan for another 6 years and ended up retiring. So where are we at? Now I'm looking. Why can't I find what I want today? I don't know. Just having fun, I guess. And here we go. Here is my 10-year challenge. Right? In the Aloha shirt, I was working in the shipyard second shift, I think. And that was from one of my stand-up nights just a few nights ago. Right? So there you go. I don't think I changed one bit.
Your hair's longer.
Yeah, it's just because I haven't cut it because I don't want to pay to go get it cut anymore.
Well, I mean, Randy just buzzes it now.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that, man. I live with that for me. I started in high school at the age of 14 getting a flat top, right? And then I pretty much kept a flat top all the way until my last year on the ship. So I started growing it out somewhere. What happened is, I kept it short because I was used to it. When I went on my first deployment, went to the Mediterranean, and guys started, I didn't know anything about it, but guys started getting what they called a med head. They would go and just get it shaved, right right at the beginning of the deployment. Well, basically, you do that, you don't need to get it cut for about 3 months, right? And then at that point, all you got to do is go it up. It's just one. Did you get to see it, Ryan? Is that why you're saying that? Because I was trying to do something when I came up on stage, or are you just being a facetious son of a bee?
I mean, if he hasn't seen it, I can send it to him.
Oh, yeah, you could send it to him. But I was trying to do something. And Ashley knows what I was trying to do. And actually, it was kind of funny what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just poking the bear. Send it to him, Ash.
Okay.
You can send it to him, and then we can get his comments. He loves it. Let's get back into Colorado's up 1-0, man. I missed it. Well, unfortunately, I try and keep this show PG. Actually, I got some news today.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure if I should share it because Ashley only knows part of it. And maybe I should share it just to help you out, just to help us out, because maybe you guys can get on Twitter and do some stuff and let help these people make their decisions a little bit better. On the 6th of January, that was the and yes, I like this. Well, Wednesday we have a guest. Ashley?
Yes, you sent me a picture.
Andy Molher. He works for KSDK. He is a sports producer and historian. He did a piece on the Brawl in Philadelphia.
Yeah?
And that's how I kind of got connected with him. Sent him something. And he said, you know what? Yeah, I'll come on the show. So it looks like we're going to get him on Wednesday.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, so we'll get to talk to him. So get your Blues history questions ready. For Wednesday, when we have Andy Muller on, I think it'll be a fun 1-hour show. And then the big one that I'm really excited about, and I don't know, I really don't know if I should say it, other than to say it wouldn't hurt if you guys it'll be 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, Sammy. Always going to be. I reached out to Frank Cusimano today.
Yeah?
And he replied back. So I don't have anything set up yet, but he wanted more information, and I gave him some more information. So we'll see what I can do about getting him on the show. I know he's a big supporter of
that would be fantastic.
The Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know he's been around St. Louis sports almost as long as I've been around. right? I want to say that he was in St. Louis, when I was there in the 80s, right?
I know that he's been on the news ever since I moved to St. Louis in '95. So
you know who from the news who I would really like to get, and I don't know if he's still in St. Louis or if he's still working in St. Louis broadcasting or news, but is Mike Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That would be great.
I would love to get, huh?
That would be great.
Is he still on?
I don't have cable anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know, but
he's great. If he's still on, maybe I can try and reach. I would love to get Mike Bush. I remember, and I wish I could find some of the commercials. Him and the weatherman, and I forget the weatherman's name. I want to say it was Murray or something.
Dave Murray?
Unfortunately, huh?
Dave Murray?
Yeah, it might have been Dave Murray. Oh, he's an anchor now. Okay. Dave Murray, he was the weatherman, and Mike was the sports, and they used to do these sports and weather commercials that were really, really great. And unfortunately, I want to say it was in the early 90s, mm-hmm. Dave went through some very, very personal issues, and unfortunately ended his life in an airplane, right? Used his airplane to commit suicide. And, I've always, that's been something that's really affected me. And I know it'd be hard to talk to him about it, but I really would love to just send something out there and see if he'd be willing to come on and talk about hockey and that, especially some of the guys that have been around a long time. Like, I'd love to get Larry Connors on.
Oh yeah.
Right. Because Larry Connors, while he isn't a sports guy per se, this guy personified what St. Louis was for decades. I mean, 50 years, basically. Mm-hmm. Right? And what the championships, the football championship in 2000 or in 99 would have meant, what the 2019, 20 years later, what the Blues would have represented and meant to him. The Cardinals championships in 11 and 11 and 6, that stuff. He embodied St. Louis to mm-hmm. me. And I would love that. I moved here in 2004. Tammy, I moved here in 2004. So that's it. One of the topics that we wanted to talk about tonight was the All-Star game. Right? Now, we teased it a little bit, and our buddy down in Australia, he was like, well, if you're going to talk about it regularly, we may not want to watch it. But no, what I want to hear from tonight, we teased it and we talked about it a little bit. What would you do? I'm going to make you the rules committee, the commissioner for the All-Star game. And you can make 3 changes. 3 changes, because one change to me is stupid. Yeah. Right? Because when you make one change, you affect too many things, right? That you don't know, but you can make 3 so you can counterbalance what you're affecting. You can make 3 changes to the current game. I'm going to start with Ashley. What changes would you make?
Well, I know that you personally like the division the way it is now, but I preferred Western Conference versus East. I also would like the roster to expand. I would like it to be more like it's an actual team versus only bringing 13 guys. I want to bring, 20. They might not get as much playing time per se, but that way there's more teams that can be represented. Because this is all in fun. This isn't supposed to, be an actual game that really matters. It's all in fun. And I would very much like to, showcase the the competitions more than what they have been lately.
Okay. I think that's not a bad. It's not bad. The only problem for me with going 5-on-5 and East versus West. First of all, they did do more. They did 20. I want to say they did 23, 22 or 23. Mm-hmm. Right. And I did like that. And I did like the last man in vote. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I think they did that last season where they had a last man in. I think we voted in Perron, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Right. I think Perron got voted. Somebody got voted in. because they ended up starting an all St. Louis line at the beginning of the game. Well, 2 years ago, because that was the last time they held it. For me, first things first, I like the 3-on-3, but I don't like the 2 10 minutes, right? If you're going to do that, make it 2 15 minutes or 3 10 minutes. I want to see this a little bit more like a game style. But the other thing that I want to see here with it is I want to see my players more. I don't like basically, if you lose that first game, you're done. Right? I want to see that. I want to see those guys, especially what you're having happen a lot here is the team that is the division that is hosting gets knocked out in the first round. And you're missing out on those players. I want to see more of that. Right? I would like to see maybe even do somewhat of here's an idea. I just come up with this. Do a round robin, right? Do a 10 minute, 5 halves round robin, right? That's 4 games. And then from the round robin, seed them. Well, you could do this. I just got a great idea. I got a great idea.
Let's hear it, bud.
Oh, man. This is I want to know what you guys think. I think this isn't a huge idea. Instead of doing the skills competition or in part of the skills competition, the day before the game, you have a 15 or 10 minute round robin tournament for the 4 teams. Right? Central plays Pacific. East or Metro plays the Atlantic, and then you have the Atlantic play the West or the Pacific, and then the Central play the Metro, and then flop it around and seed them 1 through 4. Then for the All-Star game, 1 plays 4, 3 plays 2 in a 10-minute or 20-minute 3-on-3 tournament. And then the winners play off, but you also play a shortened third player game. And I'm with that. What I'd like to see, one of the problems is, first of all, they've actually eliminated that, right? They've eliminated the fan vote. While we think we're voting you vote for one player, the captain of each team, and then everything else is done. Well, then you put the skills as part of it. You take out some of the skill stuff.
I like the skills so much. That's why it was one of the things I wanted highlighted.
The top golf part of the skills in the St. Louis game.
No, I prefer when they keep it hockey related, but...
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. You take that out. Well, first of all, they did 2 things in that game that I could have easily seen them take out, right? I didn't mind the women's 3-on-3 tournament. But it went on and on for me, right? There was nothing, it felt exhibitionish. It didn't feel like it was USA versus Canada. It didn't have that feel to it. It really felt exhibitionist. Like the ladies, like they didn't even care. That's how it felt to me. Right? Now, if you want to spice the tournament up, you make it a 5-team round robin or a 6-team round robin, and you put Team USA with the 3-on-3 and Team Canada, ladies 3-on-3 against the All-Stars. Right? You do something like that. But you can do some of the skills, but still have that game. I like the passing one. I like the shooting one. I like the accuracy shooting. Right? I like that. I don't like the goalie ones. Right? Because they don't feel, the shootout. It doesn't feel like it's, a lot of it feels like, what do you call it? Like when guys come on with a picture or selfie, some of that just doesn't feel good.
See, I like the goalie one.
Yeah.
And I like the hardest shot.
Hardest shot. I like. I like hardest shot. I like the target shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way St. Louis did the target shooting with the electronic targets.
Yeah.
Right. I really like those. I'd like to see them do more of that. I'd also like to see them. I think if you took a round robin, if you did a shorter round robin, a 10-minute game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two 10-minute games. Speed skate, I don't like. Honestly,
I like
don't
it.
like. No, the fastest skater, right?
Yeah.
I have not.
I have not
had
either.
That luxury yet. I'm hoping to. I actually put in a request. I put in my media request for this All-Star game and got denied. But I'm going to keep trying. Right?
Yep.
Sooner or later, right? I couldn't afford it to go anyways, but I just wanted to have the pass. I think they know. They're like, no.
You're in Hawaii. You're not going.
Yeah. So I think that they could definitely make it much better.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'll tell you what, that would get you excited over 2 days, not one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You have that round robin tournament like that, because then you take out that East-West thing.
You
right?
see, I liked the East-West thing.
Well, it's fine when it's East versus West, but that's not what you're doing here. You're making the East play the East and then the West play the West for an East-West show up in the bottom. No, man, let's find out which. Because I'll tell you right now, the two best divisions in this league, and I actually think they're probably the two best divisions talent-wise, are the Central and the Atlantic. I think the Atlantic, yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that. And I think the Central is by far and above the best and toughest division out there.
Fair enough.
I'll take that division 1 to 8 against any division. 7 and 8, I might have a little bit of you might come up with a better 7 and 8, but you're sure not coming up with a better 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're not coming up with a better 1 through 6. And we can take standings whenever you want, and we can do it by standings, or we can do it by points percentage. However you want to do it, I'll do that. Chris says I missed the East-West format too. Ashley, you're not alone, by the way. I hope you had a good day today.
Thanks, friend.
There you go. Ashley's got her what do you call it? Podcast boyfriends.
No, he's my
I'm
little
joking.
brother. You're my older brother, and he's my little brother.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just here. I learned so much listening to you. But well, we appreciate that, Sammy. We appreciate that. And you know what, Sammy? I'm not sure how we're going to do it, but I know you love baseball, and I want to cover baseball during the off season. But as much as I know, I would love to get someone like you with all that knowledge that you've got. If I can get some other guys to come on the show, I don't know if you'd want to, but and I don't know if you're. And don't take this wrong, capable of it, but if you are, we could always work with something like that. I'm like,
aww.
Oh, Ryan, you know that's not true, bud. You know that's.
You're
not
usually
true.
the highlight of my day. You usually come in with
know.
the comedic relief.
Yeah. Oh man, my nose is itching me today. I don't think you can get the players to really care about the game any format, and that's. But see, that's why I think that little round robin tournament would get them to care.
I don't. I honestly think that the thing that they care about most is the skills competition.
It might
Nobody wants to get hurt playing a game that's just for fun, so they don't take it seriously because that's not what they make their money doing.
Well,
that's why you get people like Ovechkin that won't come.
Money doing they don't get paid for.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get paid for the playoffs.
Oh, I know.
Right, a lot of people don't understand that. Their pay is for the regular season.
No, they get bonuses for how far they make it, though.
Yes, they do. They do get a share, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, now I know the the MLB puts that share out, and I think the NFL does too, but I don't think the NHL ever does. The NHL is very, very
hush hush on that one
when it comes to that. right? So that's kind of where I'm at. Anybody have any ideas? Anything that you would throw out there? Be creative, man. Something creative, right? Oh, I know what we can have. If you want to keep the skills competition, have a hit Marchand contest. Who can hit Marchand the hardest? Who can hit his knee the hardest? And who can slew foot him the best? Right?
Yeah, except that they wouldn't use the real Brad Marchand. They'd have to have like a stunt body thing like they use in the car accident, like a dummy with his face on it.
It's in Looney. I'm not sure what Chris is saying there.
I don't know either.
Pro Bowl is a joke. No one wants. Oh yeah, it is. See, I've seen the Pro Bowl. Now, see, okay, you asked about the All-Star game. I've seen the Pro Bowl and I've seen the All-Star competition for the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's in here in Hawaii. It used to be. It's an absolute joke. It's a joke. The one game that I went to see was so important to me was when Arizona was the NFC champions, right? To get announced last. I thought it was so cool. And then Kurt Warner played one series. If you're the starter, you don't play one freaking series, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that didn't do me any good. I don't know, maybe. I've seen some good ones out there. Also, for Boston, I heard Tuka Rask is close to returning from injury. Yes, he is. He is doing a rehab stint. And this isn't a return from injury. This is a return from retirement.
No, it was from injury. He didn't retire. He was injured. His contract was up, so no one signed him. And he said that he would not play anywhere but Boston. So he was just signed to an AHL level contract with Boston's team. And that's kind of a tryout. And if he passes, then he could go up to the Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins need help, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And
not tonight. They're killing the Caps tonight.
Yeah, they were. And Chucky Sideburns is definitely did not do himself any favors today. Everything that I thought about trading Husso is gone. Right? I mean, he got plummeted today. I mean, plummeted. It wasn't even funny, right? I wish that they don't have the stats up here on this game, but it was absolutely just horrendous. I think he gave up 3 goals on 9 assists.
Or you mean 9 shots?
9 shots, yeah.
You also have to remember how long it's been since the guy's played.
I don't know. I think he's played in other AHL games since he's been back. Okay, I'm trying to read this here. Let's see. Okay. Well, you know what? Say what the score was. Boy, man, some of these guys are. I mean, they rate, and this doesn't tell you enough. Mm-hmm. The Ging had a goal. Joshua whacked in a mid-air goal. This is not a good article at all. I mean, it's not very. Yeah, sorry, man. Not what I would hope for from an article, and that's just one of the things about where Husso goes where. I don't think he's going anywhere. No, they played Toronto today. Oh, for Hershey Bears. That's okay. That's for where Rask is. Yep, I'm with you, Chris. I'm with you. No, I'll tell you what. We talked about. I see the 3 guys who, and it was Tarasenko, Ballman, and one other person.
Perunovic.
I see them all coming back. Right. We already know Tarasenko's tested negative.
Yeah.
Right, and he was systematic, but he no longer is.
Mm-hmm. And right? He can skate as early as tomorrow.
Yeah, so I see him being on the ice tomorrow. He's man, but I think this is going to fire him up even more. Mm-hmm. The way he's playing, and I still think he's gunning for a Selke. Other than the fact that he doesn't play on the power play or the penalty kill, I think he's becoming one of the best two-way forwards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you look what Bushnevich is doing. Mm-hmm. Bushnevich out there, I'm telling you, one top to bottom, I'm starting to think that we even out with Colorado, if not beat them. I think we're stronger on the bottom than they are, for sure.
We are, for sure.
Right? I think we're stronger in net, though it's close. Right? I'd say 52-48. But my concern is the top. I think their top line is just heads and shoulders above everybody's top line. Mm-hmm. So it's not just ours, and that's the. But in the aggregate, we run 4 lines, they run 2. Mm-hmm. So that gives our bottom.
Our talent is
better.
more spread out.
Yeah.
I mean, with them, you stop their top line, they're not going to make a whole lot of noise.
Yeah, and that's true. And tie game. I think it's tie game. Actually, see, Marianne, I love your enthusiasm. I didn't see the Blues getting a start a week.
No, not this week.
I did not. And the reason being is that game against Pittsburgh, right? Mm-hmm. And unless Kyrou had 2 hat tricks, he wasn't going to be top star again. 5-4, I think. I know it was. I know Springfield at one time it was 5-1. So, and I knew they tried to come back, but for me, I like the way they do the stars. I think that they get them around the league and they catch the best of what it is. What would be surprising to me right now, and I know it's early in the month, is for the Blues not to have a star of the month. And the only reason I could see that right now is their games are limited. Mm-hmm. Right? You look at it, we have a lot more days off. We're limited. So that could take some numbers down.
Yeah, January is a very light month for the Blues.
Yeah. And that I could see, February is going to change. Mm-hmm. Right? We've been lucky. We've only had 4 games canceled.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a lot of games towards the back end that I think can move. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think for the most part, other than like 3 dates, the Enterprise Center, the Big E, is open.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So for the most part, I see that being really a possibility that you'll take some of the games from the back end and move them up. Mm-hmm. Right? I would hate it if you only played 3 games in those 3 weeks and your other team's playing 6 games.
Yeah.
Right? Or 4 games. We've had 4 games. We had 4 games.
Yeah.
3 games. 1, 2, 3 games, right?
3 games, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think I really think that the NHL needs to look at one thing, and that's how they're canceling games. I understand what's going on in Canada, mm-hmm. right? Oh, Marianne, now I understand the importance of your article, right, that you sent to me. The NHL and 20 of its teams are suing their insurance companies for not paying out for COVID losses. Mm-hmm. Okay. At first it was like ho-hum, but now I get it a little more. Right now, the Canadian teams aren't playing, not because of COVID, but because they can't have fans in the stands. Well, because these insurance companies have sat there and said, we're not going to pay you for not having fans in the stands. That's not, the pandemic doesn't cover it. That's not going to cover it. Well, now that makes sense why they're not why they're canceling those games. Mm-hmm. Because in 12, some of the teams got paid. In 19 or 20, some teams got paid. Other teams didn't. So that has a lot to do with it right now. And I think that that's going to affect the overall of the game. And yes, I'm sorry, when you lose $1 billion, it hurts. And the NHL and other leagues are affected by this. Mm-hmm. The only league that I know of that is not affected one bit by not having a fan in the stand is the NFL. Right? Bill Bidwell used to say, I made money before we even put a fan in the stand. Before we sold a ticket, I was already making money. Right? And he went and jacked his ticket prices up. He didn't care about the fans. That was fill his pocketbook. So with that TV contract, they are definitely set, you know. And somehow the NHL needs to figure out how to get the excitement of the NFL into the NHL, right? One of the problems is with the NFL, actually they've gotten away from this. You used to know when the games were every Sunday. I have Thursday games, I have Sunday games, I have Monday games, and it kind of mets everything around. Yes, they are looking to move and go play someplace, right? They're not the only ones. Vancouver has looked at going down to Seattle to play. Yeah. Unfortunately, with Seattle's schedule, it won't work. But yeah, and the Canadian teams aren't going to play together. That's just it's not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen. But at the same time, I think that you're going to see that spike drop.
Yeah.
Right, and it's happened everywhere. Right, this isn't me just not. It happened where this started, where Omicron started, was in South Africa, and they saw this sharp spike, but it dropped. And it dropped. They saw it. England has saw it. Great Britain has saw it. France has saw it. A lot of countries are seeing this spike, and then it dropped. Well, the way that this spread, we're on the opposite side of it. So we got it in the rear. So we're not to that spike yet, but we're getting there. And I say, okay, it's already started on the East Coast. It's bam, and then it drops. And this is really, for me, I think it's the end of, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm not a doctor, I get that. But my personal opinion is this is the end of COVID. Right? I really feel that this is going to make COVID just like the flu. Right? And you're seeing that. The only reason that you're seeing more hospitalizations is you're seeing more people affected, but the hospitalization rate has severely dropped. Well, Brad, your government and our government got to get things figured out, and I hope you do get to go. I hope you can find someone to go with you and take you down there and show you a good time. And I'll tell you what, Brad, I'll be honest with you, right? And I hope this doesn't sound facetious or bad or anything. If I was you, I would write a letter to the Blues, and I'll even give you the email address. I'll send it to you, of their main PR guy, right? I would write him a letter and tell him about yourself, right? I know that you, I don't know how to say this in a polite way. I know that you're slightly mentally challenged, and that is something I'm sorry, I think you should use it, and if you want to call me out on that, call me out. I think Ashley should use, if Leia starts becoming a huge Blues fan, use it. Use it. I know I have a niece that has Down syndrome that is she's a huge, this 6-year-old, 7-year-old is a huge Blues fan. Right? She was born in 2014, so it's almost 7 now. And she's this little girl, we took her to the Blue Note one time, and all she did was run around, let's go Blues, let's go Blues, let's go Blues, let's go Blues, to everybody. That's who she is, They take her somewhere where there's Blue stuff, and that's all she does, right? She's absolutely into it, and she's knowing the player. She's getting at a point where she understands who the players are and what a player is, and all of this. So, and my sister uses it, it gets her gets her tickets and things like that. So, if you got it, flaunt it, right? And Dolly Parton with hers, hey, you got your voice, but your voice wasn't spectacular. So use what you got, if you got good doctors that can get them to that size that people care about, oh yeah,
I'm just slightly uncomfortable with the way that went to Dolly Parton and her bosoms.
It's the same thing though, right? You got some. If you got something, you can use it. Use it, right? Right? I'm a veteran. I'd be stupid not to let people know that when I do this. What's everyone's thoughts on the Kane situation? To the idiot in, what group was that? I want to say it was our group, the R Blues. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I'm calling this guy out. Who says, let's bring Kane because we need him? No. I really hope you were joking, because if you truly meant that, you have no clue what this team is. That is not a guy that I want on this team. The only team, I think there's two teams that he could play for. Boston and the Capitals. Because he'd be the biggest butt. I mean, he'd take some of the, what do you call it, light off the other buttheads that are on that team. I mean, Brad Marchand, no one would look at Brad Marchand anymore. Mm-hmm. Tom Wilson, I think Tom Wilson and Kane are at about the same thing, At least
I don't
Marchand
know. If he was available, I think the Rangers would have liked him instead of getting Ryan Reeves.
He was available. They could have got him. They could have got him. They could have got him cheaper, too. They didn't want him. They didn't want him. Right? But I absolutely hate watching Colorado games. I love when they go and show their fans. I love when they show their fans and they act like, they've been fans for 3 days. 3 days. And they act like, oh, I got a Landeskog jersey on. See how great I am? Couldn't tell you which player's Landeskog, but I got a jersey. I don't think he's going to win. No, he's not going to win. Right? He's got too many strikes against him. That's just So the NHLPA has filed a grievance on his behalf for him being let go. Okay, here's the issue, dude. First of all, you got suspended 20-something days, 20-something games for a fake card. For a fake card. And then you go and break COVID protocols by going out to a bar?
He got on a plane is what I thought.
A plane, whatever it is. It just absolutely, you're not, as far as you're concerned, the rules don't apply to you. Well, at some point, they don't apply to you, so we're not going to pay you. Right? We're done. Mm-hmm. And that's what that is. They're not going to pay him. They released him to terminate his contract. He's not going to get that money. And I think they had cause. They had cause upon cause upon cause.
Between the drama with his wife and those allegations and the fake COVID card and the violation of COVID protocol, I'm pretty sure he's not going to win.
Yeah, not even close, right? I'm sure the arbiter's just looking at this laughing. This is so fun. I'm going to hear the case just to hear what they got to say. No freaking way.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. No, they had every right to let him go. Absolutely, Marianne. Hey, did you hear what I said about your article? What you put the article? I don't know if you were here then, but I did mention that. Oh, and then the gambling they disproved.
That was the allegations that I said.
Yeah, that was the allegations. Then there was the one with him having a weapon and pointing it at a weapon. We do not know if it was loaded or not, but he pointed it at her.
Yeah,
right?
But they also found that there was no evidence that happened either.
They had video evidence.
They couldn't prove or disprove is what they said.
Well, the guy.
Hey, Lance.
Oh, hey, Lance, how you doing, man? I got your text today. I didn't read it till just before I came on. My heart's with you, buddy. And if you need something, let us know. We're here for you. We're definitely here for you. Thank you very much. What, Lance? Real quick, what changes would you make to the All-Star game? I want to know. I want to know.
He wants to know.
Should I stay or should I go now? Trying to come up with some good like song parodies. I haven't come up with any good ones.
I'm actually usually pretty good at that, but not on the spot per se.
I was working on my Omnicron one.
I could probably write a bunch of parodies about the Blues players and it would turn out okay. I just have to have the time to sit down and do that, and I haven't.
That money. See, Chris, I'm sorry. I'm going to call that one out. Okay, that whatever that was, that dude's got money.
Oh,
okay?
Lance wants a link.
Got money. The bankruptcy and all that was to prevent her from getting it. That's exactly what that was.
Hey, guy, send Lance a link.
Send me a link.
Send him a link.
Copy to Klingberg. I guess we're going long today.
I might have to pop out to let my dog go out and go potty, but I'll be right back.
That's no problem. Here we go. Lance, I sent it to the group one because it happened to be the first one there.
I'll let Lance pop on and then I'll grab her quick.
Yeah, no, actually, go grab her while I'm waiting for Lance to pop on.
I'll be right back.
And I'll talk for a little bit, right? No, hey guys, how we doing? How about a Zelda? A missing link. Not sure what you're going there with the Zelda there, bud. No, I want to see that All-Star game get better. I want to see. I mean, the Kane thing to me is just, you got to have bad apples in every bushel. They say a few bad apples ruins the bushel. I don't think it does. Right? I think if you're smart, you go through the bushel, you find the bad ones, and you get rid of them. Right? Before they ruin the bushel. That's where I go. Do I watch Full House? I have. In fact, my daughter's middle name is because of Full House. And yes, I know that Bob Saget passed away a couple days ago. The link is the elf. Oh, okay. Did not know that. I did not know who Zelda was. So there we go. I sent Lance a link. There we go. I guess he's going to do audio only today. Are you audio only, my friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were asking about the All-Star game?
Yeah. What 3 changes would you make to the All-Star game if you could?
Number one, and this has got nothing to do with my opinion on women in hockey. It's just a strictly hockey thing. If you're going to call it the NHL All-Star game and the NHL All-Star, skate competition and all that, you can't have other leagues in there. You just can't. And if they had, let's say, junior hockey come in and do it, I wouldn't approve of it. It's got nothing to do with women's hockey. I love women's hockey. I don't watch as much of it as I watch the NHL, to be honest, but I do watch it and I like it. They're very talented. It's a different game, but they got a lot of good players, and those women have put a lot of time into what they do, and you can tell they're just great players. And I would change that. I would get rid of this stupid, 3-on-3 crap. I don't like it. Go back to the 5-on-5, make it a fun game, make it like it used to be, to where you get every player out there gets to play quite a bit of time. And I just don't like it. I think it's gimmicky, and I don't like what they did in St. Louis with them putting little stands all around the arena and shooting from 200 feet off. And you're turning the game into a circus. And I understand that, younger fans don't have the attention span, and it's got to be, we're in the Twitter and Facebook age and Snapchat and Instagram, and everybody's trying to build a brand and all this and that. That's great. But let's go back to what the game is. I don't mind changes in the game, but if you want to do it to where you have 2 periods, or where you have 2 periods with each of 4 different teams, 2 teams and 2 teams, that's fine. I don't mind that. If you want to showcase women's hockey, let's have a game of women's All-Stars. Let's do that at the same time. Let's play the game before that afternoon, or do something like that.
Did you hear what I came up with?
No, I didn't. I just joined probably right after.
No, no problem. So here was mine. I like the 3-on-3 or the 4-on-4 format for what they're doing. But what I think they should do is, first of all, limit the skills competition to just the skills. You know, the hardest shot, shot accuracy, the pass, the passing one, but that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you take the 4 teams and play a 3-game round robin, 4-game round robin, and seed them. You play 10 minute. You pick a side. Flip a coin. You pick a side. 10-minute game, 3-on-3 round robin. So you play 3 games. You're going to play 3 games that night. You can spread them out a little bit, but you play 3 games. And of the 3 games, you play 3 games, and then they seed them 1 through 4 for the All-Star game the next day.
Yeah, I mean that's a different idea, and it's different than what they're doing now.
It goes with what they're doing now.
Yeah,
but what it does
goes,
is,
yeah,
you see your stars more than if they with St. Louis, the Central got knocked out by the Pacific really early, right? So you're done. The guys that people paid to come see were gone.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why I like the 5-on-5, because you get to see all the players, and it's actually like hockey. I mean, my comparison, and I told you this last year. Have you ever seen baseball do
Yes.
something to where there's only 1 outfielder, 2 infielders, and a pitcher and catcher? No, because that's not baseball. Baseball would never think about doing that. Football doesn't do that.
Well, I'm gonna piss in your Wheaties here. They went and changed extra innings by putting a guy on second base.
Yeah, but it's not that way in the All-Star game.
What?
It's not that way in the All-Star game. You're talking about the regular season. The regular season's one thing.
No, they do that in the All-Star game now too.
I've never seen it done
because they haven't gotten to a tie game yet. But that
rule.
rule.
Well, here's another thing too. Bettman's no longer the worst. What am I saying? Commissioner Mansford of Major League Baseball is the worst commissioner I have ever seen in my life. I don't like gimmicky stuff. I know you got to draw the new audience and figure out a different way to do it. And you know what? As much as I hate the puck, with the it shows where the puck is and flying around in the ice, I would rather have that than 3-on-3. But I do like your idea. If they're going to do 3-on-3, I do like your idea better than what they're doing right now.
No, I'm okay with the 3-on-3. I'd like to see it go 4-on-4. Yeah. And I'd also like to see them. So you only have 11 players per side.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of those are goalies, so you only have 8.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have 11 and you have 8 teams, that means basically you're going to have guys get left off that team that deserve to be there. I mean, really, really deserve to be there.
You see, but that's why I like the 5-on-5, because it gives you the opportunity to bring more with you.
And
actually, no, it doesn't. You're in the same boat, right? You're in the same boat because you have 3 goalies. First of all, I think they upped it to 23 players. I think it was 23 or 20. It might have even been 22. Yeah, it was 22. But you have 3 goalies. You have 16 teams. So you figure that out with the 16 teams, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? Or 19. You only have 3 extra players. If you have 1 player from every team, then you only have 3 extra players. Now, I think the NHL actually goes with it where they have, no, the NFL doesn't, where they don't have it. I want to get rid of, you got to have a player from every team. I think that you have to actually be an all-star to be on the team. If your team sucks and you're not the best guy on your team, I mean, by a long shot,
Yeah, it does frustrate me sometimes when the All-Star game comes around, and I'm not knocking this team. I don't like this team, but I'm not knocking them. Detroit's a much better team this year, and I knew they would get better a couple of years ago. It would take them a couple of years. But let's go back 2-3 years when they were really, really bad. If you take one of their players, I can't remember who made the All-Star game back in 2018, 2019, but his stats he wasn't one of the best players in the league, but he got to go because he was, they have to pick a player from each side. And I understand why they do it, because they want everybody to see a player from each team so they can, see the different, players and everything like that. But I'm with Ashley. I love the 5-on-5 because it's more like hockey than 3-on-3. And as you know, I am not a big 3-on-3.
Actually,
guy.
I say it's not. I say the 5-on-5 that they play is closer to 3-on-3. There's no defense played, no defense whatsoever.
Oh,
The goaltenders are in a damn shooting gallery.
Guy, there's more than there is 3-on-3 because you're going to muck up the ice a little bit, and there's going to be less room, so there's going to be more contact. It's a lot more like the game. If you look at other leagues around the world, and I may be wrong, but last time I checked, there's no other league that does 3-on-3. They have their all, like the KHL. Last time I watched the game, and it was 2 years ago, they had 5-on-5, just like the regular.
I think they went to a 4-on-4 for their overtime.
Well, I wouldn't mind that either. That's better. I wouldn't even mind 4-on-4 in the All-Star game. I just don't like that 3-on-3 because it's not. It doesn't. If you're trying to, and I even had somebody tell me this. I watched the All-Star game and I really liked it. So I went to a game and I'm like, what's going on? There's 5 players on the ice. And the only reason I went to the game is because I went to the All-Star game because a buddy had a ticket and I liked the 3-on-3 and the open ice and all the scoring.
Yeah.
I don't like the way, if you're going to do 3-on-3, market it better and come up with an idea like yours. If you're going to do 3-on-3, have the several teams play that first day and that last day, have a championship type of a game. I do agree with you on that if you're going to keep that.
I say you do this. You have 3 days off so they play 2 games on the first day on Friday. They play 2 games on Saturday, mixed in with the skills competitions, right? And then 2 games, and then they seed it out and they played 1 or 2 games at the actual All-Star game. I think it would be more fun.
Yeah,
I think the players would enjoy it more.
I was talking about women's hockey earlier. I would love to see and not necessarily call it USA, but call it, I don't know, North American South and North American, whatever, and have the best women players from Canada play the best women players from the NHL or from the United States. And even if you want to bring in,
they did that for the St. Louis game.
Yeah, there's some women's leagues in other countries that have very good players. Why not bring some of them over, mix them in with the teams? I think that would be great. Have a women's game and then a man's game so you see the best of the women and the best of the men. I think that would be awesome. And I think it would help build women's hockey, not just have a woman in a skills competition. That does nothing for building women's hockey.
Well, they did for the St. Louis All-Star game. They had a 3-on-3. I think they did 2 10-minute halves, right, Ashley? Do you remember?
Yeah, they did. But I want to see with them, you want to expose as many good players as you can. If you want to do a 3-on-3 women's game, do it 8-10 years from now when the game's more popular. Let's get 23 women on each side, and let's get them out there and have them play a game, and let's see, because you're going to have a packed house. You could do it on the same day, or you could sell tickets, to the other game, to the women's game. And a lot of those people that may have never watched women's hockey before, they'll go, I'm already here in town. I'm going to go ahead and buy a ticket to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And it's going to expose more people to it. And I think that's what women's hockey needs.
I agree with Lance.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, look well, first of all, St. Louis was the right place to do that.
Yeah, it was. It
right?
Definitely
it
was.
was the right place to do that. I think the heartland of hockey was the right place to do that game. For me, I understand that, and I know you call it gimmicky. I don't so much. I get where you're coming from, Lance. But I think you take the 3-on-3. I think for the All-Star game, the 3-on-3 makes sense. But you can spice it up. You spice it up by either you do something with the red line. You add the red line back in to where once you cross it, you can't go back over it. Right? Go back over it. That's an icing. Reverse icing. Right?
Well,
you don't like that?
If you're going to do something, if you want to make it to where, I don't know, it's kind of gimmicky too.
I just think that the best way to do it is to make the game resemble the game that you want to see. Yes. So make it like a real hockey game. Make it 5-on-5. Make the rules the same, because if you change the rules, people are going to be confused.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I understand what you're coming from. And like I said, if I like your idea much better with if they're going to stick with the 3-on-3. That's a much better format than they have right now. Hey, I was going to tell you guys, did you see what Klingberg wants from Dallas?
No.
Well, he wants to renegotiate his contract, or he would like for them to look into them trading him. He didn't demand a trade. Do you know what he wants, salary-wise?
No.
This is going to blow your mind. Now, this is John Klingberg, okay? Good player. Pretty good player. 8 years, $63 to $65 million. He wants $8 million a year for John Klingberg. And his agent says he will get it. Isn't that a joke?
That is gotta be a joke.
Agents don't understand COVID.
No, and I would say John Klingberg is a $5.5 to $6.5 million player. If he stays playing like he is now, and you saw earlier people wanting to, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, people wanting to trade certain players for Jacob Chicharron.
Yeah.
And they want too much. They just want way too much, and somebody suggested Tarasenko. Arizona doesn't want a big contract. And I wouldn't trade Tarasenko unless you're going to give me an arm and a leg, especially with the way he's playing. I wouldn't trade him. Now, if you come to me and say, I'm going to give you an established player, a top tier prospect, and a first round and a second round pick, I might do it. Maybe.
No,
but if it's anything less than that, I'm not doing it.
And you can't.
He's not worth 4 players. That's what he's essentially going to be getting, for them. Yeah. And he's not worth 4.
No, Chicharron's not worth it. Either is Klingberg. I'm looking at Klingberg's numbers now, and he's only played a full season once.
One time. That's right.
Right. And the last 4 seasons. Now I know 1920 was truncated.
Yeah.
But he played 64 games in 18-19. He played 58 in 1920, and I'm pretty sure that Dallas played more than that. Right? I haven't looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
He played 53 of the 56 games last year. And I know he's close, and he's played 27, and I know Dallas has played more than that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But in 27 games, he's got 1 goal, 16 assists for 17 points. He's a -8 with 12 penalty minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's got a game-winning goal. Yay for him.
Yeah. He's got good hands. He's got good hands, and he's a good player, but he's not an $8 million. If he's worth $8 million, can you imagine how much Ryan O'Reilly or some of these other guys, when they're up in 2 years, are going to get? If he's worth $8 million, Ryan O'Reilly's worth $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Ryan O'Reilly's having an off season.
His Corsi's only 53.8, 5-on-5 close.
Yeah.
His Fenwick's 52.4.
Yep.
I'm sorry, if you want that much money, your Corsi's going to be in the 60s.
It has to be. It has to be in the at least 63 to 66 or higher.
Exactly.
And 50% on Corsi is league average.
Yeah.
Right? The way Corsi's figured out, 50% is league average.
Yeah.
Above it is your above average. Below it is below average. But for me, that average is 45 to 55 is average to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're at 53.8 and you want that much money? Nah. Actually, I'm wrong. Oh, wait a minute. I was looking at his age 22 Corsi.
Oh.
This year it's 49.4.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
awesome.
I wouldn't even give him $3 million a year.
And it's 47. And his Fenwick's 47.4.
Somebody would give him 5.5 to 6.5.
None of his numbers are there.
I know.
None of his numbers are there.
I know,
right?
But he's a good assist guy, and he's solid. But is he great? No. Is he upper echelon? No.
Do you know who's worth that money as a defenseman?
Who's that?
And I can't think of his name now. The dude up in Colorado.
Cal McCarr.
Yeah.
McCarr. That's it.
Yep.
I can't think of another defenseman that's worth that money.
And all these people want the Blues to trade for another defenseman, and with him, with Chicharron, he's making $4.5 million, I think, or 4.6. How are they going? They have $67,000 left in cap space, and the Coyotes. And I know I was going to talk about this with you guys and get your opinions, but they want basically a top player, a top prospect, and a first-round pick for it. They're not. Only a team that's desperate is going to give that for him. And everybody's saying, well, the Blues need defense. Well, you know what?
No, we
My
don't.
God, what are they? 11-0-1 in their last 12 games at home.
Yep.
They're one of the even though they had some a couple games with Pittsburgh, which they should have won that game, and we know the refs weren't good in that game, but that's another story. They've been playing like crazy with all the COVID issues and everything this team's gone through, and they're still playing like this, and people want to make trades. It just doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
I don't get it.
Let me give you some numbers here real quick. Right? When it comes to defense, right? For a team defense, what's the number one number you're going to look at?
Oh, you're talking about defense?
Yeah, defense. What's the number one number? If you want to know where your team's defense is, what's the number one number you're going to look at?
I always look at penalty kill.
Close. I look at goals against.
Yeah, goals against the penalty kill are the top
Goals
two.
against average.
Yeah.
The Blues' goals against average is 2.67. That's ninth in the league.
Yeah, that's pretty dang good.
Okay? The Colorado Avalanche, the team that we're chasing, is 3.26. They're 21st in the league.
Yep.
Right? You put our defense against their offense, defense wins championships. And we learned that. Right? 5-on-5, what is FA? I'm not sure what that actually means. I got to look down here. 5-on-5 FA.
What a lot of people need to understand
goals against for ratio.
Yeah.
Right? Now, this right here, this is a good understanding of your offense to your defense. If you're a good defensive team, you're going to have a better than a 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
Or at 1.18.
Mm-hmm.
1.0 means you're giving up the same amount of goals per on 5-on-5 that we're 1.18. Now Colorado, they are great 5-on-5. They're 1.29.
Yep.
Right? So is Carolina's just a great team all around.
Oh, Carolina's great.
Right? And then you go to penalty kill. The Blues penalty kill is 7th overall, well tied for 6th at 83.7. Right? Let's see, the FF is that's shots against per game. That one really doesn't do me any good. But no, those are the two big ones, right? How many goals are you giving up a game? And what's your penalty kill? Right? And that's the current numbers. And not only that, the Blues are they're what did I say? Tied for 6th.
Yeah.
They're 3rd overall in power play at 30.1.
Mm-hmm.
The top is 30.9. The Maple Leafs. Edmonton's at 30.2. Right? We could easily. We have another good power play game. We're up in 2nd or 1st.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you know one thing, I just don't think a lot of Blues fans get it, Guy and Ashley, is other teams have missed games. There's been 70 total canceled games, I think, so far, 71 total canceled. The Senators have the most at 13. What other team that has had as many players out as the Blues have had has done as well as the Blues? I can't think of any.
No, there isn't. There isn't. And that's to our depth. And our depth is going to carry us on. And that depth is also why, just like 19, it's time to stand pat.
Yeah, and with the depth they have, what helps you in the playoffs? It's depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you go into a game with a lot of teams have one real good line, their second line's pretty good, their third line's average, and the fourth line a lot of times is average or worse. The Blues have 3 very, very good line, and the fourth line's good, and that's
they're better
rare.
than average.
Yeah.
Right. This is something that Berube did that I love. And a lot of people, when I tell them that, they look at me quizzically and go, really? During the Stanley Cup Finals, when the Boston Bruins put out their top line every single game, Berube put out his fourth line.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying something. That is saying something. I am more than ecstatic at what we're seeing. And Berube has been reading my articles because he changed his coaching style. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but he changed his coaching style. I mean, the backhanded comment that I say is he was compliment is that he was forced to, but it worked.
Yeah, he was told
right?
he had
taught him something.
Yeah, he was told at the beginning of the season if he wanted to, they would like to have him back, but if he wants to come back, he had to change things, and he did. And I'm not his biggest fan, but I've got to give the guy credit. I don't know of a lot of other coaches that could have dealt with the adversity the Blues have and keep everything together. And that's not just him; it's the type of players and the type of people they have on the team personally. They're all good people and they all want to play for each other. And that's huge.
No, I'm with you. I think it is too. And you guys are I think Seattle is beating, they're up 3-1 on Colorado with 5:34 to go in the second.
Yeah.
Come on, Seattle.
Yeah.
Release the Kraken.
But put them away before Thursday.
Yeah, put them away before I go to the game on Thursday.
Yeah, we need this win. We need this win.
Hey, Guy, I was going to ask you real quick. If I'm able to, do you want me to get on for a few minutes in between periods?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Oh, okay. Of course.
Absolutely. Go up to the.
Yep.
Are you got floor seats or you?
I got
club
nosebleeds.
Seats?
I got club seats.
Okay. Oh, club seats. Oh, actually, you can go in the club areas.
Yep.
And probably it'll be clear enough, and it won't be as loud that you can. I was going
to go in the little hallway that's next to the escalator and stand there.
Yeah. That might work. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That would probably work really well. With the club seats, you're right behind. You got the clubs are the all you can eat seats, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you can go in that back area where the suites are.
Yep.
Because you got to walk back there to get to where everybody is to get food and that.
Yep.
Right. Oh, if you're there and you see my buddies from I'm talking. I can't think of it. Caruso and O'Neill.
Yep.
Tell them how happy I am that they don't take that I stopped emailing them because I know they don't read my emails and they don't care about me. No, don't say that, but tell them that they really need to change.
One person I know I'll see.
Yeah.
That in every GM the Blues have ever had that I've been in their club seats or their expensive seats where the food's included. John Davidson did it and Doug Armstrong does it. That little railing before you get up to the club there in that middle section where right by the escalator, the GM walks through there about an hour and a half before the game.
Oh, okay. So
maybe I'll tell him, I'll yell at Doug Armstrong, hey, Guy says hello. No, Guy and Ashley says hello.
No, tell him that Guy from the St. Louis Fan Report says hello, and he's dying to do an interview.
Yeah, I'll say that you and Slapshot Jones needs to do an interview.
Oh, absolutely. But hey, you missed it. You missed my announcement. I reached out to Frank Cusimano today.
Oh, cool.
And there's a chance I'm hoping that we might be able to get him on the show.
That'd be great.
Right. Hey, now you've been around for a while. Who's some of the sportscasters in St. Louis that that have been around a long time that you would like to talk to?
Randy Carricker.
Who?
Randy Carricker.
Carricker. Okay.
Yep.
I think I can reach out. My big one is Mike Bush. Right.
Mike Bush. Since he's went to just be an anchor guy and not sports.
Yeah.
He kind of. He talks to the sports anchors, into their lead stories and stuff, but he's kind of made it known that he likes just to stick with talking about, news stories around the world and stuff that's why he quit being a news anchor after 9/11. He said he felt that he wasn't doing something important and wanted to do something important. So.
Okay. Well, I get that, but maybe I'll get lucky. Yeah. I think I want to reach out to him.
What about Rene Nade? Rene Nade.
Say again?
Rennie from Channel 5.
Yeah. I don't know that one.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. I'll send you his Twitter.
Yeah. I've got one of the KSTKs I got on Wednesday. Hold on, who do I got on Wednesday? Let me see. I just had it up. Told Ashley, but I can't remember who it was now.
And then I blink.
Andy Moeller is going to come on Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
All right, well, I have Andy Moeller on to talk about Blues hockey and all of that. Hopefully he watched the show today. I've reached out to Doug Gilmour. I'm hoping that he'll come on someday. I doubt it.
He's a tough one.
We'll see. So, just trying to do its best. Well, man, we're at an hour and a half. Slapshot, too long for you, babe?
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Yeah, good one. Well, we're going to go ahead and edit. Hey,
Yeah.
Lance, great to have you on. You're always welcome, my friend.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling good earlier, and I thought, let's get my mind off of things and let's talk hockey.
Well, I know what you're going through, my friend, and we're here for you.
Thanks.
We love you to death, Lance.
Thank you.
The thing when it comes to this podcasting game, you could have very easily told me to get out of it, and you didn't. You said you're doing something at the time. You're doing something completely different.
Yep.
And I'll never forget this. You told me, and we sat there, and I mean, and I'm sorry if this is diming you out a little bit. We ate 5 baskets of fries in about 2 hours, and he goes, "You see the game a lot differently than anybody else out there doing this."
Yeah.
And I love it. So don't stop.
Yeah, there's a lot
that?
there's a lot of people that I don't know, that they don't see it, they don't listen to it, and they don't pick up on certain things, and it's because you've worked hard to do what you do, and you've got to do it for yourself first, and it's kind of therapy too for yourself, and
Yeah, absolutely.
it keeps you going, and a good thing is, and I told you, if you do something right, people start copying you. And if you've noticed, other shows in St. Louis have started to do this format, during the game. And I'm not going to say who it is, but they've done it several times. And I know it's because you're doing it.
I have a feeling it is. I think I know who you're talking about. They're doing a Discord chat, right?
Yeah, because I asked them when I first got in contact with them, why don't they do that? And they said, no, because it takes too much of a time and nobody's going to watch it. So it's a good thing.
Why do it now then, right?
Yeah, it's a good, when people start copying you, you're doing something right.
Well, I like that we're growing. I like that we're catching fans. I like the fact that our base is strong.
Mm-hmm.
The base is strong with this one.
There you go.
But hey, Lance, it's great to have you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you were able to meet Ashley and get her on, because it's nice to I played hockey and I know a lot about hockey. You didn't play, but you know a lot about hockey, and it's nice to have someone on that is picked up on hockey and just loves the sport and as much as we do, and it's just nice to see how much she's grown. And I remember the first time she was on Ladies Night, and not that she was a bad person on the show back then, but you can just tell that she's gotten a lot better and got more comfortable, and she's not afraid to get in the middle of us and stir things up. So,
yep.
Thank you, Lance.
Absolutely, and she does a great job. I love having her. I mean, she's better looking than my last co-host. Not saying much, but
poor Rob.
Right. But hey, guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys all tomorrow night. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. I'm sure we'll come up with something. Wednesday night, we'll have a guest, and that'll be fun. That'll be Ashley's really first full guest interview.
Oh, awesome!
Right, 1 hour guest interview. So that'll be something that we can work with.
Don't be nervous, Ashley. Just be yourself, and it'll be.
I'm gonna make sure I take my medicine at the right time that day.
Yeah. So it's just the only thing I get to say, I don't because I don't live in St. Louis. I don't know Andy that well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long he's been there. I don't know everything he does, and I can't do the research. So I got to count on Ashley to do the research on him and get the information in that. But I know he just did. I know he's a sports historian.
Yep.
So I just did a story on the Brawl in Philadelphia on January 6th, 1974.
Yep.
Or 72, right? And I want to ask him. See, a lot of people don't know this, and I know this for a fact. That Brawl was the catalyst and the inspiration for the scene in Slapshot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? The keys getting thrown. There's a lot of connection to St. Louis and Slapshot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of connections with the Flyers and the Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
If not for the Blues, the Flyers would have never had those type of players on their team. Their owner got ticked off because they got beat up on the ice, and he said, "We've had enough of this, and we're going to end up playing the Blues."
Never going to let that happen again.
Yeah. Totally changed. It totally changed their organization.
It didn't just change the organization; it changed the game of hockey.
It did. Yeah.
Right? It changed the game of hockey because Philadelphia at this time, we got to remember that you had a whole bunch of expansion, but the original 6, had not won a cup. And actually, since the Blues were the last one there, no one else had gotten there. I don't think. I'd have to double check, but I don't think between the Blues last cup and Philadelphia winning the cup, I don't think any of the other teams had gotten there. So by Philadelphia changing their style and becoming the gruesome what they were, becoming the Broad Street Bullies and getting out there and playing this really, really intense brand of in-your-face hockey, and it's a copycat league up through the 82 until the Islanders come along. This is what changes hockey, is that draw in 72.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have the Islanders that come along in the 80s, and then you have the Edmonton Oilers that come along in the late 80s.
Actually,
the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Edmonton's first cup was in 84.
First cup was in 84, yeah. Right after the Islanders have won their 4, right?
Yeah. The Islanders beat them in 83.
Yep. So the Islanders won 79, 80, 81, 82, 80, 81, 82, 83.
Yep.
Right? And then but that's, all of that comes off of that fight in 72.
Yeah.
And I've had Unger on, and Unger's talked about that. He said, I went to the locker room. I didn't know what was going on. So I see my coach bloodied. Right? The paddy wagon scene.
Every time you mention him, I can remember being a little kid, 6, 7 years old, and just seeing, none of them wore helmets. I think there was one guy that wore a helmet, and the rest of them didn't at that time. And the two players I remember the most from the 70s because of their hair was Gary Unger and Ron Duguay. Because remember, Ron Duguay had that long flowing hair in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Gary Unger skating around, and his long blonde hair was just flapping in the breeze.
Oh, I know. It was amazing. For me, when it comes to the helmetless players, the guy that I remember the most, and it's because he was one of the last ones, was Harold Steps.
Oh, Harold Steps, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And when he stepped on the ice, he was a throwback player.
Oh,
we only had him for a couple of years. We only had Harold for a couple of years.
Yeah, he never changed. Even when he got old and was playing with the Blues, he still played that style he did 10 years before that.
When he got on the ice, somebody was hitting the ice.
Yep.
Somebody was going to hit the ice hard.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you somebody hit the ice. He was a freight train on the ice. That is one guy. I know he's still around. That is one guy I got to reach out to my contact and see if I could get in contact with him.
Yep.
Right? That is one guy that I would love to talk to.
Yep.
Got to reach back out to Jeff Brown, too. I'd love to talk. Jeff Brown was that style of player, too.
Yeah, super nice guy. And I'm sorry to keep you guys going, but thanks again
problem.
for having me on. And I know your interview is going to go well on Wednesday, and Ashley, you'll be fine. Just don't get nervous. They're just normal people.
Yep. Hey, Ashley, if I can interview Grant Fuhr.
Yeah, I would have been so nervous. Like, he was like the goalie, like my, idol whenever I started playing a little. I probably wouldn't have been able to say a single word if you had him on.
Know, the first time I talked to him, before I interviewed him, I talked to him, and I wasn't nervous. And then the first time I interviewed him, it went so well. And then after I had him on the show the first time before we started having his normal segment every month, and I didn't get nervous till after I was done. And I got done, and I'm like, I just interviewed Grant Fuhr.
Yeah. That's why I was like, my point was, man, it's only a half hour in and I don't have any more questions. I screwed myself. That's what I felt, Yeah, but I remember as we'll go away. This is the last thing. You talked to me about that interview after I did it.
Yep.
And you had said that you had talked to Grant, and Grant had told you that was one of the most professional interviews he'd ever done, and especially couldn't believe that I was a fan doing this.
Yeah, he liked it. He liked it. Yeah,
so I got to reach back out to him. I haven't talked to him in a while. Maybe he'll do another one with me. I don't know.
I'd have to sit that one out.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely want you in for that one.
Yeah. He's
right.
Because
you know what, Ashley, you have to. You know what? It comes down to this.
Oh.
The first time you do it, you the moment you start talking to them, who they are goes away.
Yeah, you forget.
And you start listening really quick to what they're saying, and questions will come up. Questions will come up.
Yep.
I asked him about the tennis balls.
Yep.
And he just looked at me like, man, no one asked me about the tennis ball.
Yep.
But he turned around, man, that's a good question. Yeah, man, I was catching him, getting him off me. I said, well, did that have anything to do with you having a great glove? And he looks at me and goes, I never thought of it that way, but maybe it did. So that's all it takes.
Yep.
Defensive showcase in the college football, whatever you want to call it. It's 9. The Tide are up 9-6 in the third. Well, hey guys, that's going to be the end of our show. Thanks you all for showing up and sticking around. I can't believe people lasted for this long.
I know.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. This is Guy the Hawaii Blues fan for Lance from the Drop Hockey Podcast, and Ashley Slapshot Jones saying aloha, mahalo, and we'll see you all tomorrow night on the Hockey.